Phil, can you tell us what we're doing? This is a very special, slightly sad but meaningful and hopeful naked lunch.
We haven't done a lot of timely things that are topical that need to be out like the day we do them, right? But you and I are both sitting in the middle of a firestorm, literally, in Los Angeles tonight. It's Tuesday, January 13th at 4 p.m. and the fires died down in the last day or so, but today and tomorrow they're supposed to pick back up. And I think Wednesday, if we can get through Wednesday, maybe we can get through without any more people losing their homes. It's been absolutely awful. So we just want to talk to anyone who wants to call in and, I don't know, just be a family of people who care about our fellow citizens and brothers and sisters out here. We don't know what else to do other than pitch in and help wherever we can. And I think it's good to have shows like this because maybe we can connect and feel a little better.
Let's spill the beans, chew the fat, food for thought, jokes on tap. Talking with our mouths full, having fun. A piece of cake and humble pie, serving up a slice of life. Leave the dressing on the side, it's naked lunch. Clothing optional.
Susan, can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, I'm Phil. This is David.
Nice to see you.
Nice to join you.
Where are you calling from today?
Well, I'm a mom in Michigan whose daughter lives in Santa Monica.
Oh boy. Yeah. So you're worried mom.
Yeah. And I love the Watch Duty app. It's helping my sanity.
Yeah, I have it too. I think everyone in LA has it and everyone connected to LA has it. Watch Duty, D-U-T-Y. And it gives you updates, sometimes many updates.
Yeah.
And you can't say you're not informed.
That's right. That's right.
How's your daughter? Is she all right?
She is all right. She was about a block from the evacuation zone for a while, was in it, and then is out of it now. And it's a different stress for someone who wasn't directly affected.
Yes.
I think there's, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like she's on this, in this state of hypervigilance and just grief
how
for
are you
everyone.
not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's harrowing. We are recording this on Monday at 4 p.m. LA time, and we could get another strong wind gust today and tomorrow, they say. So this whole thing could happen again. And I want people to understand that it could happen in any part of the city. You know, if there's a spark or wind blows a power line down and creates a spark. So there's no like safe zone.
Right.
So it's very hard.
I'm just getting a warning now, and my puppy is barking because I got the warning.
That's funny. That your puppy is a very good watchdog, right? Are you checking David left to check on the puppy. That's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to join and just, I love you guys and just thought I'd listen to what's happening and what you guys have to say and what other people have to say.
Now look at this cute dog. This brightens up anybody's day. Look at this.
Yes, Stevie is a very tough guard dog who is protecting us from whatever threats are. And Susan, to what you were saying, because I'm also both Phil and I have kids in LA, and we're sort of making sure they're okay. And part of the insanity is you're not only getting these. I evacuated once, and another night was looking at the fires directly out of my front yard, thinking we're going to evacuate and worried about tomorrow. And like we have packed our belongings, our valuables twice and three times, but Phil is dealing with it in a much bigger way. Phil is, I've had to seek stay in other people's houses for at least part of a day, and Phil is welcoming people into his home, which it's just it's surreal how many. I don't know, Phil, how many friends do you have who've lost homes? I have many.
I actually lost count, but it's so sad and so terrible. But here's what I want you to feel good about, especially having a daughter that you're nervous about in LA. She will get out if she has to. The house is a terrible thing to lose, and or even your apartment. It's your belongings. It's your life, but it's not your life. And she will get out and she will be fine. And what I want people to know about LA, and especially you, is that the people here are so wonderful and so beautiful and so, the joke about Californians is, oh, they're just looking for a cause, right? Well, now we have one. And when we find it, we take action.
Yes.
We help. I always say that, I travel a lot. And I meet people, and my generality is that most people around the world are so much better than their governments. And
Amen.
the people do not wait for the government to take action.
Yes.
And damn the people who try to make political points off this. Human
Agreed.
tragedy, terrible, terrible, terrible. But the people, they don't play those games. They see you need a hand and they help. So you
Yes.
don't have to worry about your daughter's safety. She's going to be fine.
Good to hear.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's the beautiful thing about here. And by the way, it's not just LA, of course.
No.
There have been many tragedies around the world and around the country, and you see the people. You see the people helping. You
Yes.
see everybody pitch in. You would do it. I would do it. It's just a human reaction. The inhuman reaction is to start playing politics with this.
Exactly.
And are you in regular touch with your daughter about this? Is she?
Yes. Frequently. I mean, she has to work today, try not to interrupt. And, but yes, she's been great. And I mean, she's 34, so she's not young, but she's not old.
She's young to me.
I mean, to me too. But she's taken it very seriously. And I was glad, she wasn't just like, oh, it's, I'm fine, no big deal. She took it very seriously, and she had choices for evacuation, places to go. And
well, here's what else she has going for his mom, who's watching the watch duty. And you're going to call her before anybody else.
yeah, before the Santa Monica's alerts go out.
I hear there's a fire right over here. Keep a look up for that one, right? You're a good mom.
And my heart goes out
Thanks.
to the people, like an old person who's home alone, who doesn't have apps and can't figure out warnings, and that's what breaks my heart.
Right. And someone needs to be checking on them all the time.
Of course.
And I mean, and like Phil says, I do see this community is coming together in great ways, and but it would be nice if it stopped long enough for people to start rebuilding their lives, because there's so many people who haven't been back to their homes.
Yeah.
Phil, I don't know if you even packed a bag of things you would take with you. Like, I realized almost nothing that is that important to me.
You got it.
I do have one nice story I'll just share with Susan, because you might appreciate this, is that my wife did want to get certain documents, because she's very smart, unlike me, that are important. And in looking for something from our wedding certificate, she pulled out something, and I'll show it to you. She goes, "What is this?" And it was a poster from Joni Mitchell, a self-portrait that she signed.
Oh my God.
For love. And I think she must have did this 30 years ago when we did get married. So it was sort of up around that. I mean, we must have gotten around that time. I haven't seen this and did not know I had it. And now, so it's sort of like in finally looking through our closets, we're actually discovering things. But so many people have lost so much. I feel guilty because I found something.
Exactly. Need to frame that.
Yes.
That's a great thing. Would hate to lose it, but as great as it is, Not as important as you getting out of there.
Not yet. No, I didn't grab
Right.
anything other than a pair of pants and a shirt to wear the next day.
Right.
That's it.
I have people with me. They didn't have time to grab anything.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
It's a trauma. It's a shock. And then it's a real pain in the ass because now your life is about this. I
Yes.
gotta call everything. I gotta cancel my cable. I gotta cancel mail. I gotta change
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I gotta find a place. I gotta deal with insurance. I gotta list everything that I had. Right?
Schools for your kids,
Everything,
preschool,
everything.
new
So-
doctors, new dentists.
Do everything.
That was the heartbreak of Palisades, seeing like, when a school, part of the school burns down, you go, what?
Now what?
That's heartbreaking. But Susan, it's we're so glad you called in. It's so great to meet you.
Thanks, guys.
We're with you. We know what this feels like, and we're with you.
And
Appreciate it.
And I think what's nice is I'm glad that are you a Somebody Feed Phil fan? Is that your?
I am.
Okay. I think the thing is Phil's message of like caring about each other. Sometimes it's a little too cute. Right now, it's the most meaningful thing in the world. It's like, there's
If you're not cute, David, nobody's gonna watch.
I've never been accused of being cute. Okay. We have some other Zoomsters.
Yes.
But it's such
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Please send our regards to your daughter.
Yeah, love to your
Yeah.
daughter.
She loves you guys too. She listens.
Oh,
Thanks.
Hello.
Hi, Joni.
Hi,
Hi.
Where are you calling from today?
San Antonio, Texas.
Wow. I'm sure you're sending love and good wishes to our neighbors here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
very nice.
Prayers and love and kisses and hugs and everything they need because my heart is totally broken.
What, do you have a connection here?
I do. I grew up when I was a child. I grew up in California about 7 years, I believe it was. But yeah, Southern California has got a big piece of my heart.
Yeah.
San Bernardino, Rialto, Bloomington, my family and I. So it's near and dear.
Do you still have family and friends out here?
I do, but we're not really connected on a daily basis. I mean, if I was to, ask, I have some in San Francisco or Sacramento, all over the state, but really it's just heartbreaking to see all the families just going through all this.
It is terrible. And yet we're going to do what we can to help. That's all we can do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And just you reaching out to people makes a big difference. People that's what my friends who have lost their homes are
Right.
remarking on how many people have reached out to send love and beyond that help,
Yeah.
It's
And
there's
the
always,
firefighters and
how great are they? Let's talk about these people.
I mean, really, and to see the animals that they were saving, the wild animals, the domestic animals.
And the
just the-
kindness.
Yes.
And I saw one fireman come out with bundles of papers that he thought the people could use.
Wow. Yes.
Their stuff. So these are not just robots going in and putting out fires. These are real flesh and blood human beings with hearts who really care. And they're working their butts off day and night, some without breaks for long periods of time, doing the hardest work there is in the world, fighting a giant fire.
Right. And seeing the other countries coming and helping us. And
How great is that?
yes.
How great is that? No one should ever say a bad word about Mexico.
No, not at all.
Look at those people. They send, even after the crap that some politicians say about the people there, they
Right.
still send people to help Americans.
That's it. Because we're all about love and peace and trying to keep everyone together, not tearing people apart.
That's right. As
Bill,
it should be.
Can I ask you a question? When did you fall in love with LA? What do you remember?
It took me a while. I'm a New Yorker. You're a New Jerseyer, right?
Yes. Yep.
We're from the East Coast. And when I grew up in the 70s I was watching Woody Allen movies, he kind of taught me how to feel about Los Angeles. So I thought well, that's no place to live. That seems like he said the only cultural advantage is you can make a right turn on a red light.
Right.
And New York, we all thought was the center of the universe. And in many ways, it still is. But I came out here for work at the end of the 80s. And at first I thought, oh my God, the sun is shining all the time. It's kind of, you're squinty. I didn't have sunglasses yet. I couldn't believe it. And then, oh, wait, there's a pool with the apartment building. That's nice. And it's nice every day. That's nice. And you have a car to get around instead of the subway. That's nice. And I'm working for a living and I can feed myself. That's nice. And now I have enough to buy a little house. That's nice. And before you know it, I'm an Angelino. And my dreams came true here. And I owe this city a lot because it made my life very good. And so, it has my heart. I'm still from New York. I still love New York, but this is where we had our kids. This is where we raised our kids. This is where we have our friends. This is where we have our life. Our base is here. I can't imagine losing my house, but now I'm seeing firsthand friends dealing with this, and I realize it's more important to be alive.
Yes.
Get another house. I don't mean to sound callous in any way, but you can get another house. You can't get another life. This is the thing that's important. Your loved ones. That's the most important thing.
Right. I saw the parents, the fur baby parents that saw that their dog or their cat was still alive, and they just were so overjoyed.
Of course. Who wouldn't be? Of course. That's a family member. That's a loved one, your pet.
Yep.
Get it? I love my doggy.
I love him too.
I got to say, when I moved into LA, I was told by everyone in New York, because I was such a New Yorker, that you're going to hate it. It's like, and I fell in love with it pretty quickly, and it is the most unique city. That's one of the things I value in places, that they're unique. And there's so much about our topography, our people, but the city isn't really like any other place. And that's, unfortunately, that's working against us in terms of just how spread out it is, how much, brush there is, how much.
Well, how many trees there are. I mean, we live with nature, and unfortunately, this is a side effect of that.
I grew up going to the snow-capped mountains when I wanted to, and went to the beach when I wanted to. So it was Fantasy Village anytime I wanted, and then going to Huntington Beach and Newport Beach, and it was just awesome.
If you're a fan of what the earth has to offer, this is a good place to be.
Yeah.
It will be again.
That's right.
We're just in the middle of it. We are right in the middle of it. It's I just wanted to get out here and offer hope and love to all our friends and family here. I just want everyone to be okay. That's the most important thing. We can rebuild. Again, it's a giant pain in the neck and beyond, but we will get through this. We have each other.
That's right.
Well, Joni, thank you very much for calling in and showing your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing this to light. We need it more and more and more.
Thanks, Joni.
Good night.
Take care. Good night.
Bill, I think I've heard a report that we have a next Zoomer who loves one of us. Sadly, not me. My wife, Fran, is zooming in.
Fran, are you calling from the kitchen? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my office, but no camera allowed because we've been up for days, as I'm sure everybody else has.
Yeah, you popped on for a second. I thought you looked way better than David.
Well, that goes without saying, Phil.
My wife, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you all good?
All right? Is this harrowing for you as it is for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, we're
Hard to
lucky. We
sleep,
were,
right? It's hard
yeah,
to
we
sleep.
were only evacuated for one night, but it's hard to sleep. Now the winds are going to start. Clients are, it's everything's it's sad. Hopefully everyone will stay safe and good, but it's just, I don't know what the aftermath is going to be.
The aftermath is rebuilding, like every community that has a tragedy like this. That's the aftermath, right?
Yeah,
It's a huge amount of work. It's a pain in the neck. Nobody wants their life to now be this.
right.
You know, a few days ago, people are going out to dinner, doing their stuff. Oh, I got plans for that. Let's meet next week. No, this now. I lost my damn home, right?
It's,
Now I
I
gotta
can't
find,
even,
I gotta do everything. I see it. It's in, my friends, they're going through this. I can't tell you how many friends lost their homes, lost
it's,
their homes.
yeah, it's unbelievable. I was going through my closet for somebody that we know that had lost her home, and it's just, I was thinking, would she want this? I don't know if she want this. I'm like, she needs everything. She has nothing, it's just, you can't even imagine. And it's just, it's so frightening. It's so frightening.
And let's say this, you know, yes, the Pacific Palisades, they might have more money than the people in Altadena, but they're people.
Yeah,
They feel the same way about their house as you do about your house, or anybody feels
right.
about their house. Uh,
And a lot of those people have lived there for a million years. They didn't
yeah.
buy their house for $20 million yesterday. I mean, yeah,
And it was the culmination of their life's work and dream to
yes,
afford to buy a place like
right,
this, as it would be
right,
for anyone.
exactly.
Do not hate just because these people appear to have more.
Yeah, no, I
You know?
agree.
That said, it's going to be much harder, and there's many, many people, more people, who have lost their homes, who can't afford
Hmm.
rebuild as easily, who don't have insurance. How about these people?
Right,
What the hell? So it depends on all of us who are
Fran,
lucky enough to be okay to help.
right. Yes, David.
stand by, because I think because Phil has someone who loves him, I think I may have someone who loves me. Brad Paisley.
Oh, so you're kicking your wife to the curb? Is
No,
that
no, I want Fran to let Fran stay.
Oh, okay. Can we do that?
Yeah, it's Brad here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm sad. How about you?
Well, sure, we're sad.
I mean, I can't even process this, and it's not our personal situation, but it's personal enough. It's unbelievable.
Listen, you got through the floods up in Santa Barbara, right? In Montecito?
Yeah, that one was wild because that was like a learning experience that informed how I felt about this, but this shattered all norms and beliefs for me. Like I just thought I remember when it was on our doorstep up there,
Yeah.
as it came down the backside of those mountains towards us. Um, and one of the guys in the neighborhood kept sending me videos. We had already evacuated, and they sent me videos from there, and you could see it in the distance, and it was close enough. And then I got a video that I might have sent David, but it's a video of 1,000 fire trucks on Route 192 along the mountain that just kept it back,
Wow.
and 10,000 firefighters
Wow.
came and followed that. That Thomas fire ended up 280,000 acres. So
Wow.
yeah, it was bizarre. And but it was what happened next was they kept that away. They lost 3 structures total,
Mm,
which is insane.
yeah,
I mean, that's amazing.
right.
But a month, everybody was high five when it was over, and a month later, we got an inch of rain in like a half an hour in January, and that's when nobody was ready for what happened.
Mm,
Right walking distance to our house, there's a road called East Valley Road, and it was like it was it wasn't near the creek. Like the creek was pretty far. So, but what happened is that the water coming off the mountain and the hill, all the rocks and the mud and the debris
yeah.
just decided it wasn't going in the creek, and it went down that road. and took these houses out.
Oh.
And so it just feels a little like whatever happens this week, they got to get this fire out. But then it's going to be a nightmare again. Like you gotta, like these areas that have been hit, they're going to be running for their lives around them when it rains.
Well, Brad, this has to also hit you because when I first met you, you and Kim had a home in the heart of the Palisades. Can you just talk about how special that place was? And
Yeah.
that house is gone. You sent me a picture, and
Oh, the house you lived in is gone?
Yeah, it's gone. So did you ever go to Susan and Kevin's old house down there in the White House they lived in for a long time where they first had Gable?
Yes.
So we weren't too far
Kevin
from
Nealon.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. So Kevin Nealon and Susan, they're our closest friends. And so when we met, we had a house, our first house we ever bought as a married couple. We bought it in 2004 or 5, and it was in the Palisades, on a beautiful street called Earlham. And it was walking distance to the Starbucks and the Gelson's and the pizza place and the Indian restaurant we loved and like all these places, and all of that burned. Everything I just mentioned is gone.
Yeah.
And but we raised Huck and Jasper there for, I think we sold it. We sold it to a wonderful family that we're still in contact with that still has it or had it. They were pregnant when we sold it. They have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and they've been raising their kids there now. And that house, I have a picture of that house in 1924 with a Model T in front of it. And it's that old. It made it 100 years. It was one of the first ones there.
Yep.
And how does a house make it that far, see so much, and it burns down with the town? And there's nothing. I mean, the drone footage of this Hiroshima looking devastation.
Yep.
I mean, it was so, like, Kim and the boys spent 2 nights ago watching these videos of Huck and Jasper when they were toddlers. They just went down the rabbit hole crying. This beautiful old house that we loved, but we decided to move out of there. And, we sort of outgrew it. And it really, I mean, David, you saw that house, I think.
It was a beautiful house. So yes, I love that house.
And I'll never forget on when they started, on, I think it was Tuesday day. And it was like, I remember thinking, wow, I hope they stop this at the edge of the Palisades.
Yep.
And my friend Peter Tilden is down on the edge, and he was really in danger as it began. He's down by Gladstone's, and so I was really worried about him. And then I get a phone call that's another friend of ours who's a TV producer with video footage that a reporter sent him of the flames around his house, which was 1 block over from our old house. And then I found out the next morning it was gone. And then I got a picture of it, and the gate is still there, the iron gate, and that's it. And it's like, and a fireplace.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, I feel so bad for that family. They're great people. They said, they're sending us, they said, we have some photos and videos from the week before, and at Christmas this year, we'll send you. You need to see how loved this house was. What are they going to do?
That's the thing.
And they're one of thousands now.
Yes. How many structures gone?
I don't know. 10,000 at least.
Something like that.
Maybe more.
So for every, you told that beautiful story about that house. Every single house has that story. It was loved by someone. It was,
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the Palisades. It's not like people. I am sick and tired if I hear one more person say something like, "Oh, it's the elites or it's rich people." Well, first of all, that is not the case in Altadena at all, but it's also not necessarily the case in the Palisades. Everything's
That's right.
relative.
That's right.
These are people who work their whole lives
That's right. I
to
was
live in
just
a
saying.
beautiful little village.
Yep.
These were really modest houses. They cost a lot, but they were modest.
Yes.
These are
Firefighters had
families.
a lot of
These are
money,
people.
lived there, and they saved up their whole lives and moved there when you could still afford to move there.
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
I don't know how they rebuild. I don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, talk about nightmares to come. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's no silver lining to this, but if there's some things we can do to make it better moving forward, it's that this is an opportunity to for California to get their act together a little bit in a lot of ways. And I think, they need to make it easy for people to do the right thing. For people to do good things. They need to make it easier to build a house you love. They need to make it easier to, take home a little pay at the end of the day. And some of these things that they can do. I mean, firefighters need to be superheroes and paid like it.
Brad,
And
That's the whole
have
country,
you
isn't
dealt
it?
with a lot of firefighters over the years? I know you always, have been supportive of military and police and
my father's a firefighter. He's been a
Oh,
firefighter my whole life.
oh my God.
He was captain of the fire department in Glendale, West Virginia. Yeah, he's all about it. But like, and my brother, Kim's brother Jay, was an LA firefighter till he moved to Tennessee.
Do
And
they
then
have any,
then he was a Tennessee firefighter after
they
that.
have any insight into the situation?
No, I mean, no more so than anything you're seeing. I mean, none of us know necessarily, any better than they're saying on the news. But I mean, it's I definitely think there's a real aspect of like, hang on, I'm gonna have to plug in or I'm gonna lose you guys.
Okay.
Losing the battery. There's a real aspect of lessons that are learned. And unfortunately, like any tragedy, you learn lessons,
Right.
Yeah, and it's easy to sit here and say they should have done this, should have done that. But we're gonna have a lot of that. There's gonna be a
But
lot of
what would they
like,
have done about the
you know.
wind? How do you fight that?
How do you fight what?
The wind.
I don't know. Maybe there's aspects of this like I keep hearing we borrow the planes from Canada for this stuff.
They're coming in from Mexico to help.
No, I get that. No, but the planes, those planes that drop all that, I've heard, and maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I've heard those are Canadian. Why don't we own those?
I don't know.
Let's buy a few of those. Like we should have them ourselves. Like be proactive. Obviously, I don't know. This is for somebody else to figure out, but definitely some better situations for fighting these, being ready, hiring more firefighters, paying them as well as you can pay them. And get on top of this. These are decisions for people to make, but let's make that easy.
Agree with all of it, but I think this was a monumental
Sure.
thing, like an earthquake. What are you going to do?
Oh yeah.
Don't build here? I mean,
No,
you
I
can't
think
say
you
that.
gotta build there, but it's gotta be as fireproof as anything can
Yes.
be when you build something.
And earthquake proof. But
Mm-hmm.
there are certain disasters. Listen, we could get hit by a meteor too. How come we weren't ready?
Well, we're working on that. They've already
I
sent
know.
these probes off to see if they can move them.
Yes.
That worries me. That they know something.
Yes, right.
But it's like,
right.
that every time I see, and we think we were successful in the test run of moving a meteor, it's like, wow, okay, where's Morgan Freeman?
I have no idea if climate change had any effect on what happened here, but I do know that everything we would do to help climate change, global warming, is the same thing we would do to make the world cleaner, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The pollution.
I mean, and not only that,
so
but
what could it hurt to fight global warming? Why would that hurt anyone? It would only help people.
I always, it's for me, like, if you can, if you can figure a way out to make that easier for people, it's always make it easiest. Like, what's the easiest route? The easiest route, I put it, you know, actually, and this is actually a conservative thinker saying this. Um, George Will, who I've met and hung out with before, who's brilliant.
Yep.
George Will always said, if you put the brownie and cookies eye level in a school cafeteria and the easiest thing to reach, the kids are going to eat the brownies and the cookies. Put the salads within eye level and easiest to reach, and they got to ask for where the cookies and the other stuff are, and they'll eat the easy stuff. And it's sort of like that philosophy of like, if you're going to make, if we do want to make a difference in that, make
Yeah.
it easy, make it lucrative.
Yeah.
Don't make it so, like, you know what? Watch Bill Maher have a time trying to get solar approved.
Yeah.
That was a real lesson, like watching that happen, where you had him on the air just being like, it's day 300 something, and they still won't allow. He said it's hooked up, he paid for it, he's ready, he wants solar energy, and he's not approved to hit the on switch.
Yep.
Come on, get rid of that. Like, make that easier. But as far as the rest of it goes, the answer right now is to be there for people
That's it.
and to help them. And we've got to do a better job of like loving one another through this. Jiminy Christmas. Some of the nastiness is crazy.
It is crazy, and some of it's coming from the top, and I can't believe it. It just, well, I guess I do believe it. That's what's said. But
I think that what the positive, if we can find it, is that if you when this is rebuilding, the rebuilding process does give you a chance to figure out priorities and actually think things through. Like things like, I'm not sure, why are our power lines still above ground?
put them underground, of course. That's
Like,
a
I'll tell
no-brainer.
you, that would have been a lot cheaper than what we're about to do.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe the Pacific Palisades becomes a test case in Altadena. Those are two great communities, unique, but it's not like they wouldn't be just a little more beautiful, I think, without the power cords everywhere. And
I have them in the back, in my backyard. The power lines are above ground. I would prefer to have them underground.
They've done a lot of that where I live in Franklin, because a lot of Franklin, Tennessee is new.
Yeah,
Some of it is old and way more charming than the new,
right.
but some of the new is charming. Like there are a lot, any new community that they've built in Franklin has below ground power.
Right.
And it was really an aesthetic choice. Like that was because it looks better. And
Looks
but
better
in-
and is safer, of course.
yeah, but in here we never even thought about that.
Yep.
There though, they got a real concern, and I just want to see, I want these communities. I've heard a lot of people say they're going to rebuild already. I have friends saying it. I know 10 different people who lost homes.
Yeah.
And a couple of them have already said, as soon as they tell me I can get started, I will.
Okay.
And that's hard to believe. I don't know what I would be. What about you?
I don't know. Imagine your house survived when every other house on the block is.
I have a friend that's the case.
Who wants that? Who wants to live there?
He's not sure if he can. He said, I don't know what the rules are when I'm allowed back in. Do I have to throw the couch out, or will it ever be safe to sit on it?
Well, the air alone is deadly.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. Like, is it a total? Like, is it a total loss? Do you write it off? Like, he's like, on one hand, we're happy that we still have a lot of our memories in that house. They are the one house in an area that, not only that, but they had other structures on the property burn that are gone, and the house itself, the main house where all their clothes were and their kids' rooms and stuff is there. And so that's almost like you could just see. I hope the insurance company doesn't play games.
Yep. Phil and Brad. First of all, Brad, have you ever thought of your dad as a hero? As you know, being a fireman, I'm saying
Yeah.
Doug is a
Yeah.
hero. And we have
Mhm.
Mira is one of the people who's been waiting to join us, so we're going to let her join in if I think she's hearing this now. But your dad, growing up, I know that's sort of why I raised it. He would like worked for the train. Was it the train company?
I know my grandpa worked for the train company. My dad worked for the Department of Highways. He was in the Army and he also was a firefighter. So
And a
he was doing
firefighter.
a lot of things you admire.
Uh, we're joined by Elizabeth and Mira, who have been waiting.
Oh,
Hi there. Thank you for letting me in and for doing this, Phil. I really appreciate it.
You're here with David and special guest Brad Paisley.
hi there.
Unbelievable.
I'm honored to talk to you.
Where are you calling from, dear?
Yeah, Mira, where are you calling from?
I am calling from Maine, and I have to say, Phil's face is on our TV in our family with our two children, my husband and I. Oh, I don't know, every night.
Oh,
Our 1 hour of TV, that's what we watch.
oh, isn't that nice?
Well, it's
Thanks.
an honor to talk to you.
Well, I love Maine.
That's right. You have family ties here. We want you to come back, please.
I can't wait to come back. Today we're talking about the terrible fires out here.
Oh, it's
And
heartbreaking.
yes, and we have, if we live in a country together, we're all one, right? In fact, that's kind of how I feel about the world. I don't know if you've gotten to travel much, but I feel like when something bad happens, it kind of ripples out, affects everybody because we all
Yep.
understand if you see anyone anywhere seeing someone else's house burned down, can understand what that must feel like.
Yep. Yep. It's heartbreaking. And actually, this morning, my daughter, who is 12, we were on our way to volunteer at an animal shelter here in Kennebunk, Maine. And I said, I can't wait to get to. I work with animals all day, but I said, I can't wait to get to hug some more dogs. And she said, well, you always like doing that. And I said, yeah, but you know what? I really need it today because I can just feel all of this energy from all the way out in California, and we need to send more love out that way. And we had a good discussion about exactly like what you said about traveling and how we are all one and we can feel each other's energy, and we got to just do what we can and keep putting out good energy out there. And our hearts just go out to everybody out there for sure.
Brad was just wondering what the silver lining of this situation is. And
Well,
my
I was
answer,
saying I
my
don't
answer
think
to
there
Brad
is a
is,
silver lining, but there's something that we have to find good to
well,
do.
you just found it and she's on the phone.
Oh, exactly. You and that it's like look to, was it Maya Angelou that said look for the helpers?
I think it was Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was Mr. Rogers.
they're both in
Just as
heaven
good.
together, those two.
Just as good. Yeah.
No, and it's exactly that. And with what you're doing with, I mean, look, Phil and I and David are all dog lovers. We all have dogs, and
Ah.
it's the greatest thing in the world are rescue organizations. And this is going to be, that is something that some of the most compelling videos I've seen in these aftermath things that you're seeing are the firefighters helping the dogs and the people that like went back and got their dog, and most people got him
Oh
out, I
my
think.
gosh. Look at
That's
that.
Stevie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what I'm amazed by is I've always heard this, but I haven't had a dog until Stevie for many years. Like they know something's up. They smell,
Oh yeah.
literally they
Yeah.
smell the ashes before we do. It's amazing how that is part of their animal intelligence is to know something's going on.
Oh yeah. Kid Stevie is so cute. Oh hi.
Doesn't he look like a toy?
I
Where's
love it.
Murray?
Yeah.
Murray actually is with my son at his little house because my house is filled with people who are displaced.
Oh.
And I didn't want to freak out Murray too much with new people.
Are both the kids in the areas of town they live in fine?
Yes, because they live right a mile away from us.
Yeah, okay, good.
We're in mid city, so we don't have, the woods around us. But that's not to say an ember couldn't fly
Yeah.
and hit something.
No doubt.
We're right in the middle of it. We got to get through the next 2 days because they said the
Yeah.
winds are going to kick back up again. And so God knows what's going to be. So we're all holding our breath until these couple days pass.
Yeah.
I think we're all holding it for you too.
Thank you. This is the nice thing is that people care.
Yeah.
Even if they don't live here, and that I can't tell you how much that means to anyone who's lost anything, to know that people care about them. That's all we can do, and help.
Yeah, and by the way, the people I know who've lost homes, they do appreciate the reaching out, the caring. Brad's reached out about Phil and I to make sure we were okay, which is incredibly sweet. And I think we have to be thinking about, there are a lot of people hurting that, it's going to be a long time of holding back. So hopefully LA earns some, we were known for being touchy-feely, but I think maybe some of our more, there's also worse characteristics that are often ascribed to LA, but I am finding LA to be, I'm impressed with people coming together really so far, and hopefully we keep doing that.
Yeah.
Well, lovely talking to you, and hug a dog for me.
Thank you so much, Phil. And thank you, David. Thanks for doing this. And it's just been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Stay safe, all of you.
Too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brad, that's the answer right there.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, I'll let you guys get back to your regularly scheduled program, but
Well, we
thank
love you and all the Paisleys, and we can't wait to see
we love you. Yeah, and if there's something I could do as you hear of anything, let me know how I can help.
Thank you, Brad.
I think, it's like we're going to need all our heroes in music, like Brad, in sports, like, the Dodgers, who, the Lakers. I think everyone. Phil in food and travel. I think it's going to take everyone to rebuild here. And
It really is. And yeah, we all know people that are, going to need a place to stay. They're just going to need a friend.
well, by the way, Brad, what you did after a number of natural disasters in Nashville with the store, which we should just, that these organizations like the store, where you literally are feeding people, you're giving groceries to families who otherwise wouldn't have them. I mean, we're gonna have to learn from your example and the example of you. I know you learned from Santa Barbara from a previous.
Yeah.
We're gonna need
And now you have a toy store too.
Well, once a year we do, yes. But it's like we'll have to, everybody's going to have to get creative on this. And let's get these fires out in the next couple of days too, while we're at it, please.
All right, I'm getting my hose.
All right, and thank your dad, Doug Paisley, for his service right now again for us.
All right, hope to see you
I'll
soon.
tell him. We love you guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye.
While we have a minute, I just want to read off to people. I know people are listening around the country. Here's a list of state, regional, and local grassroots organizations who are collecting funds and recruiting volunteers to help those displaced or affected. These are just a few. You ready? Direct Relief. You can find all of these online. Direct Relief, the Salvation Army, of course, California Community Foundation, Bike Oven, Escalemos, Baby to Baby, World Central Kitchen, of course, one of my favorites, Community Organized Relief Effort, CORE, Widows, Orphans, and Disabled Firefighters Fund, YMCA Koreatown locations, United Way of Greater Los Angeles, the People's Struggle in the San Fernando Valley, All Power Books, Dolce Glow, the American Red Cross, of course, California Fire Foundation, Canine Rescue Club, GoFundMe, of course. I've done a bunch of that. Lagartias Climbing Crew, and Set Active. There's a bunch more, but it's very easy to find thanks to the internet. Ways to help. I want to thank everybody for helping. I want to thank everybody for caring and for listening to this at all.
Phil, can I just ask about World Central Kitchen? Can you just tell me about what you know of him and how does he do this? Because wherever in the world they're needed, they seem to pop up and be there.
He's a superhero. He's you know, he's a guy with an enormous heart. I've worked with them for a while, and it's a brilliant idea. Anywhere that's been struck by tragedy, the people need food, and the people who make food need a job because their jobs have been lost. That maybe their restaurant's been wiped out. He collects money to then fund the restaurant and the workers to feed the people. So it's a win-win, right? And they are usually the first on the scene before FEMA, before the government can get there. Jose Andres and World Central Kitchen is there in disaster zones. They're everywhere in the world that needs food. And they're helping the responders and they're helping the victims of the tragedy. By the way, Jose was just awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Biden last week. Thank you, Susan, for reminding me of that.
Dear Susan, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We lost my wife, but I was separated right before I met her after we
We'll see her again.
Yeah, she remarried within 10 minutes of the father. She moved on very quickly.
I liked it when I said, "You look better than David." She goes, "Well, that goes without saying."
That's the theory of relativity. Why do you think she married me? She's never looked more beautiful.
He's your relative. The theory of relativity is your relative will always insult you.
Yes, exactly.
Naked Lunch is a podcast by Phil Rosenthal and David Wild. Theme song and music by Brad Paisley. Produced by Will Sterling and Ryan Tillotson. With video editing by Daniel Ferreira. And motion graphics by Ali Ahmed. Executive produced by Phil Rosenthal, David Wild, and our consulting journalist is Pamela Chellan. Thanks for listening to Naked Lunch, a Lucky Bastards production.